Hello again. It's the 92-year-old lady who thinks she's 35 until she looks in the mirror, but she has some advice for the younger people who have to deal with older people like me. In other words, your family. It may be hard for you sometimes to understand your father, mother, or other old relatives that you're around. You can't quite figure them out. And I'll never forget, my one son said one day, you know, Mom, or no, he wrote a thing about me. He wrote a book about me, my faults, my good points, and whatever. And he, as if he was talking to someone else, he says, I've learned that my mother has no filter. She says whatever she thinks. She is very opinionated. Sometimes she hurts people's feelings and then she has to apologize, or she doesn't know that she did it. And my grandmother told me there are 3 subjects you should not discuss: religion, money, and politics. And that was very wise. And I get in trouble when I forget about that. But I also want to specify that, the short-term focus. Like my son says, I know that my mother has a good long-term focus, memory. She can remember everything that happened from the time she was born, except some unhappy things I have blocked out. But my short-term focus isn't very good. And he said it this way. He said, I have to tell her, yes, Mom, I know what time we have to get up to go to church. Yes, Mom, I know what time the drugstore closes. Yes, Mom, I know that when I take out the garbage, I bring back the bags that you keep. Yes, Mom, I know that some of it goes in the recycling and whatever. In other words, he picked up on the fact that I kept repeating myself. And when we're older, we do that. Another son said to me one time when I told him something about my final funeral arrangements, which I have made, Mom, you told me that 5 or 6 times. I says, well, I have 5 sons. I either tell each one the thing or else I'll tell the one son 5 times. I can't remember who I told what to. So anyway, I wanted to give some advice for you people who have to deal with us old people. I've been told that I do not have dementia or Alzheimer's. And yet, I defy the law on that one because I do not eat many vegetables or fruits. I live on chocolate, you might say. I eat very limited. I don't eat a lot to try to avoid gaining weight. But on the other hand, the reason I have not got dementia or Alzheimer's, for one reason, although they can't figure all those things out, is because I am so active mentally. I do crossword puzzles. I read constantly. I listen to music, the classical music and all kinds of music. But anyway, there comes a time when you might decide that your loved one might need to go to assisted living or a nursing home. And you have to be very careful in approaching her about that. Because sometimes a paid caregiver would be a better person to hire for them than a live-in relative or a friend. And I want to give you some examples from that to watch out for. For example, I know, I know of one family where their relatives, their children decided they shouldn't be alone, a man and a woman both. They both had a lot of health issues. So they had a friend of theirs. She says, oh, I'll move in with them and I'll take care of them. And this lady moved in with them and she took care of them all right. She started contradicting the doctors on which medication they should take. She started dipping into their money. And in short, this lady who seemed like a good friend turned out to be a viper, and they're having a hard time getting rid of her because the husband and wife think she's great because she just lets them do whatever they want, whereas really they need more supervision. Then again, there's others. I would say another one I know has a pushy Paula. She wants to be her friend. She doesn't live with her, but she wants to tell her what to do and how to handle her money and where to go and how to think. And if they go to the store together, when the one lady's paying her money for the things she buys at the store, the other one says, "Oh, are you sure you're getting the right?" She makes her feel like an invalid. And the woman is very capable of doing things on herself. Because that woman happens to be me, and Pushy Paula is a friend of mine, a different name, who thinks she's doing a good thing. Here's another one, a woman I will call Martha. Martha is older than me. She's 95 years old. She's completely bright, no dementia whatsoever. But her daughter decided that she would like to live with her free and take care of her. By living with her free, she's using her mother's money for what she wants too. And the other two daughters are beginning to see what's going on, and they're having a hard time making their mother realize. So the point I'm making is, what you should do is have a family meeting when these things come up, and when you realize that your loved one needs someone to help her, or maybe go to a nursing home or assisted living. And I would suggest that what you would do, get all the family together. They're not all going to agree, but you need the input from all of them. Find out who lives close and can help, who lives far away but has more money and could help financially if there's a need for that. And also, someone said even have a minister be there to make peace between the bunch of them, because you're going to get a lot of different subjects, a lot of different opinions. Another thing, I'm sure that by now you all have your will made out. And you'll find out, as I did not long ago, you need to keep it current. Because if you want to avoid probate and a big expense, you want to put your house under a land contract to the executor of your will. Another thing, do not give a power of attorney for health and money to the same person. Because do you want the person controlling the money to be the one pulling the plug? No, thank you. Not that I think any of mine would. In fact, I'm afraid they'd wait too long and run up the hospital bill and use their inheritance. But I mean, there's so many of these things you don't think about. You would be surprised how many people don't have life insurance. They don't have plans. I've got a whole box full of plans for when I die. I've even got lists of who gets what of the. They probably won't want half the stuff that I'm giving them, the knickknacks, you know. But at least I've written it all down. It's all written down. The will is there, and that way there's not going to be too much of an argument when I'm gone. So you want to do these things. These are all little things for the caregiver, the family of the elderly, and the elderly themselves to sort of move in together with and work out. And I hope I've explained enough about that. Goodbye.